Hey, everybody. Welcome to Blushing Nerd Tarot. My special guest, Hershe the Shadow Reader here. We are doing Sunday spreads. And so this is a new sort of show that, who knows what form it'll take in the long run. But I think for now, I'd like to continue exploring some spreads and just enjoy and take it wherever it feels like it needs to go. Looks like we have some people already popping in the chat, so I appreciate everybody joining in with us. I'll just pull some up here. We have Miss Moonlight, welcome. We have James Davis. How you doing, James? We have Maruda, welcome. Deanne, welcome. Moon Daisy Lemereau, thank you for joining. And we again, it's something that I think spreads being one of those things that Hershe and I were talking about backstage a little bit can be sort of an intimidating thing. I know it is for me. It's one of the reasons I wanted to explore this because it's so easy to just always go to a 3-card and then take whatever version of that. And I think that's a really great, powerful tool. And it's something that that I use all the time. But expanding on that and kind of breaking out of that mold a little bit, I think is a good thing to do as well. So, so I'm excited to explore. Hershe, how are things going?
Me too. Oh, well, it's wonderful. It's phenomenal. I can see a little better than I could this morning. My vision's clear, and I'm nervous about today. I'm grateful for the invitation and the opportunity to get it rescheduled because of last weekend. But you guys, I'm scared of spreads. Like, I'm a storyteller, so I must say, being focused and forced to read a manuscript, so to speak, it's it's a little more than intimidating. I mean, sometimes I just avoid them completely. So I hope to at least break this spread down, because in my soul, this spread is like my Celtic cross. Like, so I'm looking forward to today, at least, out of the whole series. Today's going to be fun because I think I can learn to dive into this in a healthy way instead of so much challenge.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and keyword being fun. We'll do. Well, that's the main focus here, and so we'll do everything we can to have fun along the way, and I think. We haven't talked too much about, I think I put it in the title or in the description, what deck we were going to be working from, but it is Kim Krans' Alchemy deck, Wild Unknown Alchemy. So it is a non-traditional shape for those of you who are not familiar. It is a very interesting deck. The imagery, I don't know, the whole thing is just such it's quite a creation. It is not a tarot. It does not follow any system. It is its own beast. So I'm very excited to kind of dive in a little bit more.
I think you just named my deck Beast.
That is it. So it is. So today's spread, we're looking at something that takes that form, and we'll go through a little bit at a time, explain what it is along the way. And Hershe, you said something when we were backstage, a portion of what was in the book, not to put you on the spot, but you were describing what one of the ways that Kim Krans kind of introduces this deck and how to approach it. Do you have that passage handy? Do you mind reading that one again?
Absolutely. I even have it highlighted out of the whole thing. It's literally
Yep.
what you should start with. It
Yeah.
says, have fun, but whether or not you choose to read these cards with or without rotation, choose with the utmost importance. You need to decide before touching the deck for the reading. Do not use rotation if you are in any way clouded with your insight, your doubt of yourself, or you are avoiding a message.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. She kind of tells you right away, what you're in for.
Warning.
So, warning. Exactly. I should have typed that up in a banner to put at the bottom of the screen while we're doing this. So let me pull the comments up again here because I think I saw. Yes, I did. Tom has arrived. Early ritual. Thanks for joining in, Tom. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So a couple of things. I think maybe one thing we could do is just kind of show some of these cards and
Okay.
I was shuffling earlier, so I can just kind of pull up some random cards. And Hershey, if you want to do the same, just to kind of show what we're talking about here and what the art looks like for people who haven't seen it before. And yeah, exactly. If you're confused,
On one condition, can I start with your rotation card? There's
yes,
a joke
absolutely.
to this, guys. We're going to keep it funny, but Brian was a guest on one of my scavenger hunts, and I told him to find a deck that had the word rotation written on it.
Mhm. You
And
sure
that's all I'm
did.
going to say. If
Good
you
for
want to
that
know
one.
what the detail or the joke is, it's not
That's
this,
it.
but it's
Man, I
all
really
about
thought I
alchemy,
had
guys.
it. Yeah, exactly.
And I swear, I put that on everything.
Yeah, so that, and I'll tell you, that still is one of my favorite things on all of YouTube is your scavenger hunt. Even if I'm not participating, but I really like to participate too. But just watching it is pretty amazing. So there's a lot of color, geometry, elements, that sort of thing going on in this deck. And I really, I have to be honest, Kim Kranz's art in general sometimes doesn't resonate with me. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but this set of cards really does. It's just very interesting art style. It's a lot of um, you know, traditional kind of art approaches, but then there's also collage kind of things going on in some of them. Um, but you'll notice a lot of, if anybody's um, you know, dipped their toes in alchemy at all, there are a lot of those sorts of elements: sulfur, lead, vinegar, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff in here. Um, so we can get into some of the meanings. We can kind of dabble with that a little bit as we go through and do the reading and talk about that as well. But I'm going to do a thing here and see if my desk camera is working properly. Um, yeah, method to the madness, probably. But
There
yeah,
is,
I mean, yeah.
there is absolutely, and
Well, and
I'm a
you can
huge
kind of
fan.
tell.
I have all of her decks, and I love them.
Yeah, I do too. I have all of her decks, and honestly, at first it felt like I sort of had to get some, just because that was it felt like I might be missing out on something with the wild unknown and things like that. But then I quickly started really connecting with a lot of the vibe, even if the artwork wasn't really latching on to me at first. But yeah, I
Mhm.
think definitely an extremely talented artist, and I think the connection is evident when you start reading through the books. Um, this is not just art for art's sake; it is art with a spiritual connection driving it, and I really enjoy that. I think it adds a lot of depth. So, all right. So, yeah, I think I am going to let me see if I can toggle my other view here so that I can show my desk, and we will try going from there. Let's see if I can alter that a little bit to make it make more sense. So I have the guidebook here, and we'll see. So, all right. So without going into too many of the meetings first, I don't know how you feel, Hershe, but I think maybe if we just start with kind of laying out the main spread, and then maybe if you can kind of help me out as we go with each position, we can talk about what those positions mean. So card 1 goes right in the center, and that is the Sacred Center. Let me zoom in a little bit here. See if we can. That would be hey, my camera wants to turn. All right, we're gonna try. I have no idea what's happening now.
It is Sunday fun day.
All right, we're gonna do this.
Oh, well, I didn't even know he left me. He'll be back, guys. So the name of the is called The Rose That Gives the Bees Honey. This deck gets very evasive in like it gets very nosy. It's very nosy. But it's the spread is based on the alchemical motto Dad Rosa Mel Alphabos, which literally I can't say, but it means the rose that gives the bees honey. The card number 1, when he comes back, is all about the Sacred Center. This is the area known as the ovary of the flower. If this card is in balance upon appearance, it is likely that there is an element of misalignment or depletion in a psychic field. So this is the number 1 card.
Apologies, Hershe. So when it started drifting off, okay, we're gonna go on a little aside here. So this camera has AI, so that ought to tell you right there. It's probably not a good thing to use on a live because it just has a mind of its own, and sometimes it's gonna just go a direction when I really wasn't looking for it to go a direction.
We're gonna go with it.
Yeah, so I had an idea of what I wanted to do with the camera, but the camera has an idea of what it wants to do. So I didn't mean to ditch you there. I actually thought I was just turning off the camera, but here I just dropped myself altogether. So, yes. So pause for a second. Hey Ben, thanks for joining us. Great to see that pop in, and we'll catch you on the playback. So thanks for stopping by. Yeah. So
Marita says we.
Exactly. That's how it felt. Like everything's just going to the side. Don't worry. Oh yeah, and I just did, and it also recognizes hand signals. So I think at some point it just decides it's going to go to a place. Boy, oh boy, I don't know. Well, it's trying. So, all right, we're gonna do this one more time. All right, you ready? This is
yes.
Let's see how it goes. Hey, there's a desk. That's a start.
We can see the card.
Hey, and we can even zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay. So autumn. I was slightly distracted, but I know you started talking to us about Sacred Center, right? So this is the Sacred Center.
Yeah, I just kind of read what her definition of it is.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So we'll go with card number 2 is the Petal of the Past. And the Petal of the Past goes in this position. And we'll have to kind of play with this a little bit, because eventually we're going to have to move things off screen or zoom out, but we'll get there. All right. Petal of the Past is a dynamic from the past that still lingers in the psychic field. So I'll go ahead and pull up the meaning on this card, and let's see what it has to say about sugar with that place in mind. So let's see. So, oh, how sugar dances on the tongue. No matter how intellectual and scholarly our pursuits, sugar reminds us of our longing for simple pleasures. Until the 12th century, our need for sweetness, it is, after all, one of the 5 essential tastes, was fulfilled by raw honey offered by the bees. Well, that seems fitting for this particular spread. So, this material had many medicinal properties and was known in alchemy as a sacred elixir. Now, most of our sources of sweetness, both literally and metaphorically, are highly processed, defined for us by a culture of consumption. This card is called to explore the simple sweetness in life. Can you add tenderness to your alchemical experiment? How about joy or even laughter? It is likely the pleasure you can carve out will not be found from manufactured means, but from the childlike wonder of residing in the heart. Remember the alchemical wisdom of like attracts like. That feels like a pretty good. That feels like a pretty good one for Petal of the Past. At least for me, I'm big into the whole. I'm always getting tugged down the nostalgia lane.
So where would agony be in that, though? I mean, okay. So this is the wondering, what the lingering, like that sounds painful, right? That, see, I would be. I'm well. Obviously, I'm struggling because that doesn't sound like a bad card, like you said. That sounds wonderful, right? But then when you read the placement of that for what the 2 represent, something that's lingering, that's holding you in your psychic field. I don't know.
Yeah,
see, that doesn't feel right.
And it could, could it also be that lingering is not necessarily a bad thing? I can see where you're going, because linger sometimes does have that connotation,
right? Yeah.
But could it be that there's just always a piece of that that nostalgia that we hang on to, that it's always part of us? Maybe it's just that root that we go back to, and just it's there. It's maybe even there as a resource. It lingers, kind of stays in the way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can kind of reword that, right? Yeah. Okay.
I suppose there's really no wrong answer there. I think it could certainly be both, and I guess maybe it might depend on the card you pull up, whether it has the good or bad connotation.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
All right. How about the Petal of Forgiveness? Let's see what that is for us. Coagulation.
So as a shadow reader, this one really hits home. Forgiveness is not, it's not easy for me. This one really hits home too.
Yeah, so her description of this position: an image or a feeling that must be forgiven in order for the flower to bloom more fully. It is often related to the letting go of dynamics found in card 2.
Yeah, they all tie together. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4.
Yeah. And that's, that speaks to what you were saying with the lingering having possibly a negative connotation too, is that, the letting go. So that seems to be the way she was thinking of this, for sure. Let's take a quick look.
What did you get? What was the card you got?
It's coagulation.
Oh, I don't remember that being. Oh, see. Oh, I forgot the number 1 part to this. Remember when I was telling you, when I was reading that chat, remember what I said. If the number 1 card is a negative card, the entire thing is a shadow read. If the number 1 card is a positive card, then the entire read is more about maybe the nostalgia or being stuck in thoughts. I was like, wait. We actually do need to understand card 1 to card 2.
Yeah.
So is card 1 negative? Well, alchemy, you have to have both heavy and light. So
Yeah. I'm gonna go back and pull
I
that
was
up.
like, oh no, I'm already skipping a step here.
Yep. See, you're bringing me back on board here, so I appreciate that. I was distracted by what I think Ben correctly called the Terminator, my camera that took over. So, autumn is in the subtitle of it is the culmination, the broad view, generosity. So, in alchemical terms, autumn is the denouement of Earth's grand narrative. It is a symbol of culmination, harvesting, and resolution. The story of our year finds closure when we begin to look toward the horizons of the next one. It is likely this card will appear as an indicator of efforts culminating, of hard work paying off, of fruit hanging low for the taking. Gratitude and generosity are the spirit of the season, so share the wealth of your fortune. Looking back, you realize many hands and hearts have helped you along the way. Holding tight to your bounty won't do you any good. The alchemist shares their wisdom and their wealth. They offer their boons back to the world as part of the ongoing cycle. Be like an autumnal tree, come to fruition and then release.
So I would say that's definitely positive. So it wouldn't necessarily be a shadow read. It would more be about just some light little dusting and, maybe just dust mop the floor a little bit.
Right.
It's not quite as painful, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
So you said 3 was coagulation?
Coagulation, yep.
That's about being stuck somewhere you don't want to be.
Right? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Solidity, adherence, and stuckness. Those are the key words for this one. So
God.
yeah.
So if we go back to, this is the image or feeling that must be like, I mean, it's not you can, or maybe you will. No, you must forgive. Like that. Okay. So yeah, being stuck and not being able to forgive or adhere, for some people, could be it could be a concrete situation, or you could literally just be scared to merge into the fast lane. I don't know. Like, there's so many different ways you could kind of take that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And interesting if we think about it in terms of that second position.
I'm
sitting here going through, you guys can't see the wheels in my head turning, but I'm going through my own thinking, well, okay, here I was going down the nostalgia path, but what is it?
You were trying to take the easy road.
Right? Yeah. Thank you for not letting me off too easy there. There's more to it, right?
I wouldn't be able to share this with you without you and me being the winner of this gift. So we're gonna take it step by step.
Absolutely. Yep. We will enjoy the ride.
Absolutely.
All right, position 4.
This is the pedal of the presence, the dynamic of the present state of consciousness. Ooh, sounds painful.
I forget I have to do everything backwards when I'm that's not going to work, is it? It is the Drowned King.
Drowned. Y'all, I have to use the book for every single card. There's no way.
Nope.
I can't. The Drowned King. I'm looking for it.
All right, whoever gets there first.
Right. Oh no, the race is on.
Oh,
If it went in alphabetical order, it would be so easy.
yeah, it would. Page 187.
Okay, read it. You got it.
So I'll read the description of the position. So, pedal of the present, dynamics of the present state of consciousness. And the keywords for this: ego collapse, losing face, and humility. So, is this telling me that my camera failure is is that what's going on here? Losing face. I don't know. I think we're on to something there. Humility. Yep. Check that box.
So absolutely. I mean, keeping it lighthearted, and not like just deep diving it. Yeah, absolutely. That could definitely, because the number one card, keep it uplifted. Don't do it. Find the forgiveness and the quickness. The present. Sometimes is maybe better. Maybe, I guess, if you put it in that context.
Well, and it's funny, the also at the bottom of the page on all of these, there's a little go deeper statement and things to ponder down there at the bottom. So I love the instructions. And go deeper. Watch the movie The King from 2018. Doesn't get more specific than that. If you're up against it, hop on Netflix or wherever, see if it's on there and watch it. Apparently it's going to give you some additional meaning. And then
Absolutely.
to ponder is the power of benevolence, which actually harkens back to some of the others, the autumn specifically, giving
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
that. So
yeah, it's like the chain link. You're either creating a ring, so they have to, they have to overlap to make the ring, or you're making a chain link. But either way, you're gonna always read this deck 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Like some Lenormand reads.
right.
There's just that like it's programmed. It's programmed.
Yeah. Yeah, so it says in Alchemy, the archetype of the king is often used as a symbol for the ego, the aspect of the self that is attached to its title, name, and identity. It is said that the drowned king is a required phase in the process of transformation. Only through dissolving who they thought they were is a king able to become who they are destined to be, a kind of benevolent leader. Huh.
Love that.
Yeah.
Especially since this is, sitting on your lap right now. So I like that.
Thank you.
I would definitely be, Excalibur at the bottom of the lake somewhere.
I hear you. All right, number 5.
Ooh, 2 and 5. Boy, these two really give me every time. The offering.
Yeah.
The word,
offering.
Sometimes the word itself is intimidating, but then the way she words it being a natural gift or talent, it kind of like, that spoonful of sugar, so to speak, the number 2 card, makes the medicine go down a little easier.
Right.
This you have to give away constantly. You got to pay this forward all the time. So it's like, oh my God, this is wow. This is the juggler that can't stop juggling,
Right. So this is breath. And really interesting here. I don't know. The art, it really, that looks to me like the iris of an eye, and the pupil has almost like fish scales going on in it. But
yes.
Thinking about it as breath, this is almost like the sharp intake of breath. They get that sort of all those lines and that action. There's a lot going on there. Hi, Care Bear. Welcome. Go ahead.
So for me, I love this card. This is another one of those cards like Autumn that is just incredibly kind of inspiring, because this is like literally the breathing something to life, a breath of fresh air kind of situation. I mean, it's literally a life force in itself. There is no direct way to practice alchemy other than to just do it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in this card, it's about a phenomenon, something mystical, magical. It's a God-given gift or talent, so to speak, as some would say. But it's literally that first breath of everything. Your first breath every morning when you wake up. That first breath of something new. Your first breath of fresh air. That cold snow. That the rain. There's
Yeah.
so many life forces that make this card itself influential. And man, I think it follows for you in your energy right now. I actually think this is pretty epic to follow the number 4 position. But kind of
Yeah.
like the
And
1 and 2, now this 4 and 5 is like, wow. It's a hell of a
right.
chain link.
And it is. And I really like that idea of just no, like you say, no direct way to practice alchemy than to, study breath. It says in here, and just you have to do it. You can't just read a book. You can't just watch a video. You have to live it. And I don't know if any of you have seen Lodge 49, I think it's called. If you haven't seen Lodge 49 and you
Sounds
can
familiar.
find it somewhere, I highly recommend it. It's almost like the fool's journey through alchemy, but it's a story
Mm,
about a down on his luck guy who lives in California and finds this lodge. And I'm going to attempt to switch my camera back, so forgive me if it starts wandering again. But um, so the the whole idea is this guy is really in a rough position in life. He was running his own pool cleaning business that he inherited from his father, and things aren't going well. But he stumbles on this lodge, and it turns out that the lodge it's a secret society that's all about alchemy. So um, and I think it might be following like the Rosicrucians, but not necessarily defined as such in the show. It's a couple of seasons long, and it's just this fascinating, almost like an acid trip of a show that just eventually reveals that alchemy is kind of at the core of what this lodge does, and just really interesting. So as a little bit of a I digress, but it's a good one. So I
it
definitely
sounds
recommend.
interesting. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll have to write it down when we get backstage.
Yep,
Remind me
yep,
of the name of it again.
I will.
Um,
Yeah, definitely check it out.
the last sentence about this card is probably, and I don't have it highlighted, but it's probably to me it makes this so powerful when you think about like the word breath, right? And then if you put breath with alchemy, you realize that that's lifelong. I mean, it's a commitment that you're gonna walk your entire life. It becomes an alley in your path on your journey, and you see it every time you inhale and with every single exhale. So I mean, this literally becomes your own movement when you think about it in this situation because you're paying your natural gift forward. You have to pay
Mm,
it forward. It's kind of like if you don't keep it, use it, you're going to lose it. And,
yeah,
this isn't the kind of gain involved where there's a dollar. This is an actual talent, something that maybe you're the only one that can do, like a blacksmith, or maybe you're the only one that can make the sword a certain way without it, breaking or being too thin or whatever. I don't know. Or a glass maker, a specific
yeah.
kind of glass maker. I love this card. I love it for where it's at right here. I've never got
Right.
it, so I like it.
Yeah, and I love it that the way you're talking about paying it forward with your gift, and that's one thing that I see, and I've seen on your channel, and I see you do on a
Mhm.
regular basis is giving back can take a lot of different forms, but a lot of times it's just
Absolutely.
listening to what people have to say and sharing your gift. And I think it's quite a treasure that we have here in our little corner of YouTube. Um,
So
yeah.
when you read it just before we jump to 6, it's like when it specifically says a natural gift or talent that must be offered to others through service. Remember, it's related to 4. So again, I just keep reiterating, this is not one of those spreads where you can like break the chain connection with
Mhm.
one door opening. Until you complete that in this spread, the next door doesn't even open. So like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's, oh my God, it's just wonderful that I'm getting to really open up about the spread, because I really want to use it, because I'm a shadow reader,
Yeah.
and sometimes I need a break from shadow, and this is kind of like that spread where neither the quorant or the reader has any choice on what's going to be depicted through it. So I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. 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 I have a feeling I'm going to be, that's that's one of the things that, there's something about spreads like this that I think often the reason I don't use them is because I'm afraid of the time commitment, because you really
Hmm.
do, especially with this one, you really
Hmm. Hmm.
to get out of it what it's giving to you, you need to commit some time. And I think it's well worth it. I don't think there'd be any regrets committing the time and walking through this step by step. And I think also just leaning into it and really spending that time each time you put a card down to really understand the meaning behind it. Even go to other resources, look at the book and use those additional tips that Kim Krans puts in there at the bottom, just to get that additional layer, and that'll add so much depth. I mean, maybe you don't watch a movie every time you put a card down, but certainly that there are other resources out there, and I think there are plenty of ways to take a deeper dive too. So yeah, agreed. Okay, are we ready for the future?
Always.
Okay, Petal of the Future. It
Number
is.
6.
Ooh, this is an interesting one. So the card for this is Sparks of Light.
Ooh, Sparks of Light. I think I just saw that one. I thought I just saw that. Ah!
The Roman numeral
Sparks.
XLVI.
XL. L is 50.
It's page
X, so it's 40
181.
something.
Page 181. Those page
Spark
numbers
of
are so
light. Yep. Dang it. Well, there's no rhyme or reason to transforming something from one thing to another. So here we go.
yeah.
So this one is number 6. This is the petal of the future. This is the new growth and blossom that is waiting for you. Like, you
Mm,
got to close chapter 5 completely off before you can even start on this. So it's
yeah.
waiting for us. So this is going to be fun. Oh, it's all about my favorite thing in the world, hope. This is the hope
Yeah.
card, guys.
Hope, sensation, exhilaration. Card arrives just in the nick of time, leaving a trail of celestial light to guide the way. Follow these flickers as if they are alchemical clues guiding you to an illuminated state. When this card appears, it's likely there's been a lull or void of direction in the laboratory. Some may even say the lights have been turned off. But in the deep void of darkness, a messenger of hope arrives, flickering and shimmering with enthusiasm. Hmm.
Hmm. I like the bottom, the ponder part. Did you see the ponder part?
Yeah, the firework yet to be lit. Yeah,
I
and
love that. That is
yeah,
like wonderful right there.
Right. And how
And
about it for the future position? I mean, come on. Doesn't get much more perfect than that.
she pairs it to Shakespeare's energy in
Mm.
A Midsummer's Night. And obviously, I don't know much about Shakespeare, that I can remember from obviously high school and college, but I can tell you that there's a whole lot of passion. There is a gang of inspiration and hope and wish, dreaming, and just believing in something that you ultimately you can't see it yet because you're not at the end game, but you're so damn close to it. So man, this is that little reignition of, kind of putting that fire back up under us. I
Right.
like this. I like this. Definitely in this
Yeah,
position.
absolutely. Yeah, Care
They
Bear
never
says it's
fall from me like this, y'all. I just want to make it perfectly clear. As a shadow
yeah.
reader, I usually get the darkness, the acid. I get all the horrible. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I mean, appropriate as a shadow reader, right? I mean, yeah, but it's
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, get some exposure to the other side here, I guess. Yeah,
Hmm.
it is beautiful. I personally feel like this is the most beautiful deck that Kim Krans has created. But to each their own. I mean, it's there are lots of good
I,
decks
I
out there.
absolutely. I definitely, obviously, I love her as an artist and the way that she illustrates and kind of puts it into kindergarten form, because I
Mm,
am somebody with all the aneurysms. Sometimes I struggle with, I have some incredibly gorgeous, beautiful, complicated layers of just knowledge just sitting behind me and over here. But what sometimes I want something simplified. And even though this is one of the hardest things in the world to understand, which is alchemy and magic, and literally converting something from what it is or was into something completely new, fresh, and hopefully inspiring to not just you but someone else. um
mhm.
there is an innocence in her artwork. I love black and white decks, so I love how she just really doesn't complicate it. It's just clean lines. Looks like a crayon drew it. I don't care. A colored pencil, I kind of like that.
Mhm. Yeah,
Sometimes the simpler for me is the better, because I'm kind of a simple person. I like simple, dainty jewelry. I don't like big gaudy stuff sometimes all the time. So I really like how she keeps it just simple and sweet.
yeah, a purity to it that
Yeah, but I
shouldn't
like
be.
this one being bold, and the
Mhm.
archetype, it's bold. It's completely different, than her
Yeah,
animal energy or her tarot energy. So I like the different pieces of her mind and how she puts everything together. I like it.
yeah, and she's multifaceted. I mean, that's the thing, going from um one deck to another of hers, so many artists, and that's great too. So many artists have continuity throughout their different styles, and um
Mhm,
I don't
mhm,
feel like that's the case with Kim Krans. I think she has a lot of depth and ability. It's pretty broad. Um, yeah, very interesting.
mhm,
Hmm.
mhm.
All right. Okay. Shall we go to 7? The
Absolutely. We can't leave them hanging now.
Petal of Nourishment. All right. Let's see where it goes.
So this is the card 7, the Petal of Nourishment. This is about the source of nourishment from which the golden flower grows. If this is in balance, like with the number 1 card, you're going to need to look for clues as to why, depending on what it's tied
Mm,
to, the number 6 card. So again, let's hope this is
mm.
a positive card, or otherwise we completely read the 6 card wrong.
Oh, I think it's a
We
positive
gonna have to
card.
dive a little deeper.
Right. Nothing wrong with that, but yeah. All right. Well, let's see what the book has to say here.
Well, I didn't catch it. What was it?
It's the androgen. Uh,
Ooh. Mm. Uh-oh. Okay, it's not an element. It's not a season.
Oh,
Is that the mystery? Oh boy.
yeah, we need the Jeopardy music while we pull it up. It's on page 213.
Is it 213? We
Yep.
sit at the same time. Tie. Oh my God, the rebel.
Creative transcendence, multiplicity, the artist.
Mm-hmm. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I shouldn't start at the bottom, but I couldn't help it. Look, it says sexuality without language, intimacy without sexuality.
Oh wow.
Things that make you go.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a pretty damn positive card.
Right.
You're gonna be embracing something, and hopefully it's unconditional.
And also
No
read the
no
poem
judgment.
The Idea of Ancestry by Etheridge Knight. Not familiar with that.
Me either, but it sounds like it would be very interesting if the ponder is linked to, kind of tied together with that.
Right?
Well, at least it does for this misfit mind. Maybe I'm the only one that just kind of went into an PG mind frame. I just kind of went R-rated real quick.
Yeah. Born of Hermes and Aphrodite, Hermaphroditos has been classically depicted as a balanced union of divine masculine, the sun, and divine feminine, the moon. Far more nuanced than that, and encompasses the infinite spectrum and reveals itself in ever-changing non-binary forms. Judgment is suspended. The gods are present, as are the creative mysteries of the underworld. For a brief moment, we hold all of our complexities in one loving form, like a newborn.
Yeah, okay. Tingly sensations may cause you to slip into contradictory realms. Wait, what? Okay, I gotta stop. But yeah, I'd say that's definitely a good card. So we're all good here.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, boy, it is difficult. I gotta say, and maybe it's just the forum, doing this on a live. It's difficult to take it all in one picture and think about it cohesively. But I think that's one of the benefits too, like you said, of going piece by piece through it and that chain, and the idea that each station along this way contributes to the next in line and vice versa. But I definitely find it difficult to kind of keep all of that present in my mind as I look through and consider what all is going on here. So, what are your overall thoughts? I don't know. How do you feel?
So I must keep reiterating, your energy is wonderful, because this is the first time I've ever seen this spread, and it's literally not a nightmare walking. I'm not kidding, guys. I could probably shuffle right now with this deck, pull out 7 cards, and just real quick be like, yep, nightmare. I faced this in the 11th grade. Yeah, I remember this. I've done this 45 times the entirely wrong way. I mean, I like, this is the first time I'm getting to see it in a way that inspires me to want to maybe read it publicly if I ever want to get out there with spreads. But this is one of those ones, like I said, I keep it very private because it's usually so invasive into the person's life. So I don't know, maybe this just literally gave me hope to have a pop-up someday with this specific read for maybe just 1 or 2 people, just to see.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would enjoy having you do a reading with this deck in this spread for me at some point. So if you do a pop
Mm,
up and you happen to have this
absolutely.
thing handy, that'd be great. I mean, it's up to you. Do what
Hey,
you're comfortable with, and
I'm,
if you feel like it's something you want to dive into, then I'll gladly be the guinea pig, so to speak. So
oh, absolutely. And I'm gonna jump on that offer because I trust your opinion about stuff. And like I said, you're literally one of the first ones to start really inspiring me to bring my very unique, different way of seeing things to everybody. So I really do. And then, like I said, I have such a strong connection to the artist, and like I said, just the way she simplifies some things and lets you know, no, you can't do it your lazy way. You got to do it this way if you want the fullest extent of it. So
yeah.
yes, absolutely, I will take you up on that offer as soon as I get the noive to do it. When I get the noive to do it, and I'm not going through box on box rage because it is box within box, and so
It is, yeah.
yes,
Yeah, some
yes,
people were talking
yes,
about that in the
absolutely.
chat too. Yeah, there's definitely
I saw it. I agree.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
why?
yeah. Yeah, once you yeah, once you part it from the extensive packaging, it takes up too much space. Yeah,
Yeah,
still have the boxes,
absolutely.
too pretty to toss. It's really nice. Yeah, excessive packaging, but you can't get rid of it. It really so uh let's see. I mean, really like this box is only part of it. That's inside of this box.
Hmm.
And then there's the book and there's ribbons all over the place. I gotta say, I don't know how yours showed up, but it's it's a lot. Not
I've thrown that box so many times. It's not even funny. I didn't even take it out of purgatory for a year. I was mad at it.
right.
I
Yeah,
emailed
and
Brian like a year after I won it on the giveaway, and I'm like, I don't know. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't cracked the spine. I'm mad at it.
yeah, yeah,
I love the deck. I love it. I love it. But oh my God,
mhm,
absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely want to do this. But I do have a question for you. So,
yeah.
with all the spreads that are so usually, what's that word where something can fit in multiple play, universal,
Yeah,
like
sure,
a
yep,
car
mhm,
part, like a Ford car part. They're usually
yep,
universal, right? Um, I don't see this, or obviously the next one, which I got carried away with this one, so we didn't really get to go into that. So maybe on next
yep,
rotation
different
or
time,
somewhere on the list down the road. Um,
mhm.
do you see this as a deck or spread? I apologize. That you could multi deck with, or would you see this as almost needing to have an alchemy deck for this type of spread?
No, I definitely think you could do that. It's a good point because I think those positions you can certainly, I mean, whether it's another oracle or even just tarot, I mean, I think those themes for each of the positions certainly could apply to tarot and other oracle decks. In fact, that'd be a good thing to experiment with. Um, yeah, I would do that. I think, and I think I may do that. I need to. So you need to write down Lodge 49, and I need to write down try this spread with another deck. So
I do, and like I said, it could just be me, and I'm pretty detail orientated when it comes to the spread, but I've tried it with mini decks, and
mm,
if it's not an alchemy deck, it doesn't for me. It just doesn't seem to spread because it is a chain. Maybe I'll try it with
mhm,
Lenormand because I haven't tried it with Lenormand, but I will tell you that with tarot being its own structure and then
yep,
this being alchemy, I'm not saying that somehow, some way on the road, you can't put some chains
mm,
in this ladder and make it work, but it has to go with a kind of a circular kind of movement. You're completing a circle, or you're at least working a circle backwards where you can see cons. of where you were versus maybe where you're at, and then also what's ahead of you is very detailed as well if you want it to be. So I don't know. Yeah, I want to see you accept that challenge and see if you can fit it
Yeah,
in with all decks, any decks.
yeah, definitely. And I think maybe what might help that is just sort of altering a little bit what the um what each so taking each of the positions for what it is as a title, but then altering the subtext. How do we think about each of those positions relative to each other rather than, this is very specific to alchemy and to the different elements
Hmm.
that are presented in this deck. But I think there's a way, and I'll take the challenge. I think there is a way to to adapt it and kind of use that for a different set. Yeah. I'll put on my Henry
Absolutely.
Ford hat
Absolutely. And
and I'll try and make it work.
absolutely. And I just want to speak real quick. Tom, I'm gonna do it every single time Brian has a giveaway.
Tom said
I'm just
Hershey
kidding.
snatched
I'm
that
just kidding.
alchemy deck
I'm
out of
just
my
gonna I'm
hands
just
and
gonna yank it right out of there.
yeah. Well, hey,
I'm gonna
I am
yank it out of
overdue
there.
for a giveaway. So I think my last one I think was last summer, and
Oh,
now
I'm
that I'm
overdue
getting
for entering for it too.
there, you go. Yeah. So, and I don't have any of those rules about if you won the last one, you can't win the next one. Cause I mean, I,
Oh,
I don't have a ton of followers. So, it's
I
the
need
pool is
everybody.
small, so
We have to have
absolutely.
enough to make the wheel go around, y'all. I'm just messing with you. You know I love you, Brian. I love you.
Likewise.
Thank you
Yeah.
so
No,
much for showing me another side to this because I have been struggling, what now, 3 years with. See what I mean? It just walks all over me. I don't even know. Oh, your business card. Um,
oh,
um, I, I love this deck, but I'm up for the challenge now. So thank you for letting me see the other side of this coin. I appreciate it.
and thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time and taking the chance on it because, like you said, it was not something you were super eager to do. You were eager to join, which was great, but the spread itself and doing it like this means a lot to me that you took the time to join and all your kind words about giving me credit for getting you onto YouTube. It was gonna happen anyway. You've got the energy and you're so
You
good. I don't
you
know.
have said
I
that for years, and I appreciate that. But if you hadn't created that little group of just us
mm,
little misfits and
yeah,
nerds, I would not
yeah.
be here. I wouldn't be here. So you and Tom and a few others are the reason that I moved from music and YouTube to tarot. So
Well,
I'll
we're all so
never
glad you
stop
did.
appreciating and paying that forward any chance and every chance I get.
Well, it's excellent to have you and I really do appreciate. What do you have coming up? Do you have some stuff planned this week? I know tomorrow you'll be doing
Oh
your
Lord,
your
I
Monday
am
routine, right?
busy. So tomorrow is my doctor's appointment at 11. So I have moved meta messages to tomorrow night. So
Oh,
tomorrow I won't be there at 11. I'll be getting poked and prodded. You know how that goes.
mm,
Tuesday I will be with Jane again at 11 a.m. Central Time to do some more charmed readings. I'm looking so forward. Or no, no, no,
yeah,
no, not
charm.
that one. Sorry. I'm on the wrong one. Blind spots with
Ooh, okay.
Morena and Gerald on Wednesday. Sorry, I had to jump the month. Forgot to skip the month. So Monday meta messages is rescheduled for 7:45, I think, and then Wednesday I'm with Morena and Gerald for blind spot reads, and then I've
Great.
got some privates, but I'm pretty open.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm not glad to hear that you have to get poked and prodded all day and that's the reason you're moving to the evening, but I usually can't catch your Mondays because I'm working. So but being in the evening, I might actually be able to catch it. Uh so that's good news for me anyway, selfishly. So looks like
I'm
Tom
not
has
mad
joined
about
us
it. If it
too.
works, I might switch.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Don't do it on my account, but because I can always watch the playback. So if it works for everybody else and it works for you, do what you got to do. So,
Absolutely.
um,
Absolutely.
yeah, Tom, it was the Slack group, and we should probably get that going again. I mean, it was fun. It was a really
It
cool
was
place for us
so
to
much
chat on the
fun,
side.
guys.
Yeah,
Oh my God, it
yeah,
was so much fun. I miss
I
it.
really liked it. Being able to share decks and talk about things on the side and whatever. It was fun. So
Yes. Oh my
I think
God,
we
yes.
should do that. Yeah.
Oh my God, the laughs and the memories. I love it. I still have it saved in my phone just so I can go back and just remember where I kind of started from. So,
Yeah.
man, oh look, you're telling on me, Tom. Tom's telling on me. Oh gosh. She's on
Oh,
Discord now, Brian.
Discord.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that works too. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I'm
Discord.
open to
Yeah.
that. That's fine. Yep. Tom, also, you're too kind. And we'd love to see more videos from you too. I love your vibe on the videos. It's just you have a really good presence. I and it could
I
be
look forward to his
hopefully you
Sunday
could.
right here in my spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the invitation is out there, so snatch it up. We'll get that scheduled, and very much look forward to it. So, and Ange just popped in. How you doing, Ange? It's good to see you. It's been a while, but yeah,
Hello.
it'd be nice to have you on at some point too. I haven't seen content, but that brings up a good point. I did find out the other day. I heard people talking about how YouTube was taking away some subscriptions, and I found two other channels that I subscribed to that I had been removed from. So I had to go in and subscribe again. So that was an unpleasant discovery because I had missed some of their content that I really would have enjoyed. So anyway, so keep an eye out for that. But everybody, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. Hershe, if you want to hang out for a minute, we'll go backstage. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, and we will hopefully see you. Possibly as early as next Sunday. I'd like to kind of keep this going, and sometimes it's just going to be me, but a lot of times it'll be guests, and I just love having people on here. So Hershe, thank you so much for joining. It's been great.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
We'll see you on the
everybody.
next one.